This is John SCHABEN of the Dunlap Livestock Auction, and the other day I gave a comment about country of origin labeling, mandatory country of origin labeling, and what we thought about it, where it was going, how important we thought it would be to enact. And I brought up a point from a cattlemen's association standpoint, asking what side of the fence are they going to stand on. There's lines drawn in the sand. We got to figure out what side you're on. The National Cattlemen's Association today actually made it a lot more clear in front of everybody of where they stand. They'd like to position on Facebook. I thought I'd read you what it said in big bold letters. It said voluntary, no mandatory. We are the United States of America. Pretty simply put, it's no doubt about where the National Cattlemen stand. They also applauded the producer, or the person, I should say. Don't know their producer status. Doesn't really matter, I guess, but applauded them for posting that when they liked it and fighting for that cause. They also went on to say it's very important that producers keep marketing the decisions out of the hands of our government. And folks, I guess it's pretty simple there. Where do we stand at it? And so voluntary, not mandatory. It's pretty impossible for us that are out here raising cattle. That's what we do, to take the beef product and keep our country of origin through that process when we have no agreement from the packers. And I understand why the packers don't do it. I'd do the same thing they would. Obviously, it's going to be easier for them. It's going to enable them to source foreign product, repackage it, sell it off, foreign product sourced cheaper, sell it off for the same price. The structure and the mechanism of promoting beef that we put forth in this country, this dollar checkoff that we pay only to promote beef, not to promote the live cattle portion of it, which is all part of that. So that's the only way we can do it. So we lose that ability to do it and hold it to our cattle when they go through those marketing channels and the process channels, which I guess I don't really know the figure, but 95% or 98% of the cattle go through those channels. So to say that we can take advantage of a voluntary system is crazy. That's not going to happen. So that's why it needs to be mandated. Ironically, this group that says voluntary, not mandatory, we are the United States of America. Yes, we are. And okay, so with that, how do you defend your checkoff then? It's mandatory. It's not voluntary. Isn't it hypocritical to sit there and demand how you don't want mandatory things? You don't want things forced upon us, but you pushed crazily to force this checkoff on us. A checkoff, which, by the way, I've supported. I pay plenty of it. I guess you could argue that it's really done some good based on the cutout values. The producers aren't getting any good of that today. I mean, but it's sure helping the packing side of it. So I guess they've done their part. We need some help on the live cattle side, which honestly, that's what country of origin labeling could do, because we have an opportunity to create value for our own home-raised product, our own born, bred, raised in the USA product, and not let them use foreign product to come in to subsidize that market and actually artificially keep it down because of it. I do want to make mention, I believe we're going to export our product all over all over the world, and we're proud to put that USA label on wherever we send our product. So I don't think we shouldn't import. I'm not a protectionist. I question through this whether we should close the borders in this short term, just from food security and all those things. But I don't believe we shouldn't import. But I don't think it's ludicrous to say that should be labeled, just like everything else we do. I think our consumers, they're finding out the difference between made in the USA products and what the foreign products are in relationship to quality of workmanship, treatment of workers, those kinds of things, the regulations that they have to go through. So I don't know why we wouldn't demand that for our protein products. I mean, that only makes sense. I really don't know what to do about it, other than we're fighting this fight. We're going to try to do it legislatively. But folks, I really think we're at this line in the sand moment that we have to decide what to do. I'm going to bring back up checkoff and just say one thing. I think it's totally wrong that as a producer, I'm forced to pay into a system that promotes beef. I pay for that, but I have no way of differentiating my product from my foreign competitor, and they are competitors. We're in the same business, but we compete against each other. That happens all the time. Okay? Foreign automakers are competitors to United States automakers. Foreign furniture companies are going to be competitors to American furniture made company. Okay, and I'm going to use that furniture example real quick. If there's an American furniture makers organization out there that represents the furniture makers of America, I would guess they would be really upset if you could bring a Chinese couch in, tear the label off, put an American label on it because it's here now, and then sell it that way. I cannot believe that they would endorse that. And if they did, every U.S. furniture manufacturer in America would end their association with them immediately. But folks, that's what our National Cattlemen's Association has done. That's factual. They substantiated it today with a Facebook post. So the line's drawn in the sand. I don't want to pay a dollar checkoff if I can't differentiate my product in the marketplace. The dollars to promote beef. And so on the beef production side, there's no differentiation. I do not want to support my foreign competitors. I'm going to throw that out to the people, the producers out here that pay into that checkoff. That's your decision. I want to send one out if any livestock markets in the country are listening to this, and see how their pulse is on it. If they feel the same way, I think we've got to go. We've got to tell our checkoff people, listen, people aren't going to want to pay it. They're not going to pay it. We're not going to collect it. We're not going to send it in until that we can differentiate our product in the marketplace. So we're not forced to pay and promote for our foreign competitor. Somebody's going to come back and say, well, the importers pay when they come in, and that's fine. That can go into the importer pool, and they can use it to promote the foreign product. No problem. Or we can just make them pay into our system that gives them an avenue to sell that into a market that's much better than the one that they had. I guess you can decide what you think is right or wrong. But I guess if they know it coming in, that they're going to pay into a system that's going to keep their product labeled all the way through, that would be fine. We spend, countless checkoff dollars. We send people over to Korea. We send people to Japan. To all over the Pacific Rim to promote American bred, born, raised, fed in the U.S. in those countries. And to keep our label on it. If they want to spend the same money, if a Brazil cattlemen's organization wants to send that money to come here and lobby their product and pay their checkoffs to do that, I'm not telling them they can't. You guys take a look, but this country of origin labeling thing has got to go through, and it's got to go through quick. It was a shame when they took it away from us in 2015. It's time for it back. There's petitions out there about demanding U.S. beef. Folks, I think you've got to go to your Congress people. And then I think we got to go back to our state cattlemen's, go back to the county cattlemen's and ask them what side of the fence are they going to stand on? And if they're going to stand on the side with the national cattlemen's who have directly said point blank, we're not going to support the United States cow-calf producer because we don't want them to label their product. You got to ask them really if you want to pay into that system. I'm guessing there's a whole people that aren't going that don't want to. Maybe you already aren't. But maybe the pressure then would come back from the state organizations because they're no longer going to support them because they're worried their membership's going to go down drastically because of it. This is John SCHABEN of the Dunlap Livestock Auction. Thank you.